his intelligence quotient is very high. And the beauty of what he has done, who he is, his personality, is that he has a deep well of emotional and social intelligence. You can win intellectually, but you must manage emotionally. You must coordinate socially. Yes. So these are considerations that come from the mind. And you must combine it with whatever you are doing at the intelligence level to be able to run. That mix is what sets him apart. He has huge humility. He's an active listener. You won't hear a word when you are discussing with him. He takes note. He comments on every strand of the conversation. So not many people can have his, including me, can have his humility to deal on those things. That I think is a special gift for him. He listens, a governor that listens. Mutual respect for everybody. Everybody has access to him. It's accessible. He's an establishment person. He's a loyal person. He's very strict and shrewd with government funds and free with his own funds. His personal funds is free. He can't give his government money. So trust me, I found in him a mentor. I found in him a model. I would like to change a few things. Nobody's perfect, but on the average, on a continuum, I'll give him 75% because he's human. So it is a privilege to work with him. That's the only way I can anchor. If you're a serious-minded person, in fact, go and ask Commissioner for Finance, ask Commissioner for Economic Planning, who work with him very closely. Ask the Attorney General. Me, I have a deep experience in working with him closely for 10 years running. They will tell you that it will take a long time to have a governor that is as thorough, as demanding, as consistent as you can find. This is my perception, and I think it's cross-cutting. As we head into the next dispensation, the search for a successor has continued, has started. I only pray that God will grant us the wisdom and enablement to point in the direction of those who will lead us aright and build on what we've started. 30 years of excellence, you call it. So that's the short synopsis of where we are. For this governor, part of his excitement, I guess, is because of the enormous work that he has been doing. We're here 6 years plus. By May, we're 6 years. In just 6 years, he has awarded 799 road projects. That translates to 1,577.8 kilometers of road and an attendant 908.8 kilometers of drains. That's enormous. Well over 65% of those are done. Even in this hard time, we're still battling with that. This is just physical road infrastructure. There are a lot of development in schools. There is establishment of tertiary education. There are funding of those schools to keep them floating. We have completed 6 bridges, and we still have 21 to go. As I speak to you, government is a continuum. Some he started, most he inherited. But he has a responsibility by a social contract to keep all of them running, especially since government is a continuum and there are viable projects that will address this huge infrastructural challenge that has plagued this country. You heard the central bank governor talk recently about the volumes of dollars, over $3 trillion required to tackle the Nigerian infrastructural deficits. Because for very many years, either we're using substandard materials or we are even neglecting those roads that we have people run through. So The cost of having terrible roads is a major disincentive to business. Check all the bad roads that you have in town. Basic transport fare in those areas create more problems. But because of this infrastructural development, resuscitation, rehabilitation, rejuvenation, if you like, under its urban renewal policies, we are beginning to connect communities, rural communities, riverine communities with hinterlands and the cities. And that's why we're talking about 21 bridges, because that alone can connect. We're also saying that a lot of people, goods and services are now coming in from the rural areas. They now they become viable. Because if you grow agricultural produce in your area and you don't have an outlet for them, you suffer. Yes. Now you have an outlet. Beneku has been having pontoon to access that place. That bridge is almost ready. And there's so little you can carry on a pontoon. But there's so much you can carry by road. The trailer can also run through that area. So it begins to give people the leverage, the lease of life that they require, and build on their economies, personal wealth for the people. In all the areas where major roads have been created, capital appreciation on all the lands exists, and to the benefit of the people. It's not even to the benefit of the government, because they are not even paying commensurate taxes as we speak on those. Take Asaba, for instance. You know that Asaba has transformed in the last 5-6 years. In fact, the last 3 years, Asaba is like hotcake. Every dead parcel of land has come alive, and the prices are huge. Rentals for 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom has gone to 600,000, 700,000 naira. Those are indicators, indices for urbanization and viability, economic viability for those areas. And when you hear that Asaba is an expensive city to live, it's because all the people are rushing down to this place to live. And it's not just here. You have them in everywhere. We have well over 12 cities in Delta State, and all of them are having fair attention to urban renewal. So that has helped a lot. It has also created a lot of jobs. And the government has consciously created over 10,000 entrepreneurs. 10,000, what I mean entrepreneurs, we mean people between 18 and 35 who are predominantly graduates, because that is the most volatile segment of the youth population that you have. Having been educationally domesticated, you expect that their next expectation means that they're going to go higher, next step, next level. And suddenly they don't have a job. So they already have knowledge and begin to be available for negative operations. So by the time you decongest that bracket, you begin to see a liberated populace. And that's exactly what we are seeing. Over 100,000 jobs have also been created directly through a lot of interventions. And then not to talk of the indirect jobs, which is over 1 million. And I'm saying so with every amount of responsibility. Because where you do 1,577.8 kilometers of road, trust me, a lot of people are selling granite, a lot of people are selling food, a lot of people are selling water, housing is coming up. So many economic activities. And by definition of labor, of ILO, International Labour Organization, you have temporary jobs running for practically everybody. Now, because we have access to the cities, all farm produce come here. And we're also building markets to complement all of those activities to create some hygienic environment for those people. We're not just even looking at that, we're also looking at contributory health scheme. We have well over 400 primary care centers in Delta State. Trust me. And then, so far, of course, it's an award-winning product that we have. Well over 900,000 people have been documented, enrolled under that scheme. And it covers both pre-maternal, under 5, school children, adults, and all that. And the target is that by the time we leave government in 2023, this administration comes to an end in 2023, about 20% of the populace will have been documented. It's a lot. That's significant. What is interesting and strategic about this government is that we've been using statistics to address the twin issues of unemployment and instability. Because the youth is a captive pool from where a lot of criminality and crime is being committed. I mean, they draft them very easily. But we're provided a lot of options. A lot of options. A friend of mine sent something to me on LinkedIn recently that they applied, that there was an advertisement in LinkedIn, a comment in LinkedIn, that they applied, they put out a job seeking applicants. In Lagos, they got 113 people in 1 week. Put out in Warri, and they got 4. Put out in Abuja, and they got 64 or thereabouts. And then what is happening in Delta? So my first reaction is that what kind of job are you presenting to the people? People are so discerning that we don't even take any kind of jobs anymore. There are a lot of people that have trained on IAGEP STEP, Project Jest, which is the girl child scheme, RISA, which is youth development, and WESA, which is the women affairs. And then indeed, we have even trained 11,599 graduates in the last 6 years, up to May this year, from our 10 vocational and technical centers in the state. DESMA is busy consistently giving out grants to market women, artisans, all manners of artisans. OKOWA'S had just taken place. So this is the size of transactions that we're doing. And I said to them, what kind of job is that? In any case, they're also comparing on likes. They're comparing apples and oranges. Lagos is not a worry. Lagos is the state capital. Abuja is the FCT capital. Warri is not capital. Besides, what type of job are you? I need to know. I've sent my response to them. I'm awaiting their response too, because it's easy to write in the papers. Yes, but even as HR consultants, you also must be strategic in what you're doing. Understand the terrain before you throw out those jobs. Our people don't go for crumbs. If you see those boys who are doing their fish pond in all the areas, they're looking like black diamond. They're satisfied. People are built. Their testimony is not about storytelling. You can feel them. We have their names. We have their numbers. Everything I've told you here, I'm going to give you a document, OKOWA'S scorecard at 6. It has all the details. Check the bridges out. Their live bridges. Check the roads, their live roads. Check the schools. Check everything that we say we have done. We have indeed done, and still doing more, because the last statistics I have is in May, and since May, quite a lot has happened. A lot of investment in human capital development. We have been described as the second least in 2020 as the second least poorest state in Nigeria. It's not with MBS. It's MBS reports. The governor and his policies have been classified as the best human capital development state here. And why? Our governor is socially and emotionally connected to the people. Emotional intelligence has a lot to do with empowerment leadership. Because empathy means you are reversing the role of people, taking their role. And when you feel, you connect with them, it resonates. You are beginning to do what they want. That's how we got to these numerous roles that we're doing. We also knew that job skills are lacking. We forbid the first 6 technical colleges that were dead upon arrival. They are there in the document. Today, subscription is way, way high. And because of the level of subscription applications, we have, the governor decided that another 18 or 19 technical colleges will put out. 9 are under construction and are way past 60%. And hopefully by towards the end of next year, they'll come on stream. Why are we doing that? We're doing that to create more skills for the people. Employability for the people. Those in the 6 technical colleges will tell you, by Friday you won't see the students anymore. They're going to do jobs. They're not running away. So truancy in productivity That their trance is productivity. Just go and do welding for somebody, go and do electrical for somebody, go and do plumbing for somebody, go and do that. The job is in the marketplace. So we're repositioning vocational and technical trainings. So the marketplace, what the people need is not about going to do brewery or going to do rocket science. First is to address the environmental need that you have. We used to have a lot of Togo people, the Yorubas, come here to do tiles for us. POP, masonry work. We have graduate tilers. We have graduate plumbers. Education is not about, the education is not about what you studied. It's about the relics of what you went through that prepares you for the challenges ahead. That's why you see medical doctors and politicians, they should ordinarily be confined to the hospital. So we here in Delta, we connect with the people. The governor connects with the people. It's empathy. And that's why there's a trust. Trust stands on a tripod. It stands on authenticity. That tripod is authenticity, logic, and empathy. Authenticity is how consistent, how truthful are you, how authentic are you in the commitments you've made in the past. Have you ever lived up to it? Answer is yes. If the answer is yes, the people will follow you. So what's the logic? What's the sequence over the period? You made 5, 6, 7 promises. How many have you kept? If you have kept 5, 4, you are consistent. There's a sequence, there's a consistency. And empathy is carry your work, listen actively, and then put yourself in their position and address their needs. And that's why you see when we had Delta 30, all we did on that final day, the gala night, was to connect with people and recognize them whilst they are alive. Because some people never get recognized when they are alive. It's only when they die that Nigerians sing too many tributes. And we even did posthumous awards to people who died but who contributed to. So you let your work be recognized instead of you seeking recognition. That's what we did to James Otobo, Mokoromo, and Dennis Oselebe for the job that they have done over the period. So that's how far empathy can take you. Trust is not only about leadership, it's central to everything that you do. Because it's influence. If people must follow you, you are influencing them, they must first of all trust you. And trust is critical. So this is a government that will be speaking from the one should be trusted. And I'm happy that Deltans now trust him and can entrust him with more responsibilities. So Delta State programs are running. Are there challenges? There will be challenges. It's human. You're dealing with human behavior. You're not dealing with inanimate objects. 4 or 5 of us here can disagree on one thing. Perception differs. So it's not about perception idealism, it's about harmonizing our perception and face a common goal. That's who a leader is. And that's why it's a consistent sensitization, engagements. The reason why we have remained attentive, we have remained smart, we have remained stronger, and we have remained safer is because of his peace moves. His Peace and Reconciliation Committee, where he has almost all communities embedded, triggers the least thing that can cause trouble. So at this embryonic stage, you are already nipping it on the board. And that's called early warning signals. When you have those early warning signals, you can address them immediately. So, and because we're also creating jobs, are we safe? Yes. When I say we're safe, you are going to tell me that some people in Nobiaraku, some people in Abraka, but the whole country is under siege. But comparatively, well, it's safer. That's the point. Make it. Yes, even in ruins, there's architecture. When you have a beautiful home burnt, when you come, you say, whoa, look at this structure. There's still some beautiful architecture you can find in that project.
Have been in government, not just this government, and the Delta State in brief. Talking about your experience and your field as you majored in organizational leadership, putting the Delta State in perspective, some still feel that there are certain integral components of the state that have not been harnessed. take for instance the seaport that is accessible and all of that. What is the priority of the state?
The seaport is very critical, but is on the exclusive list of the federal government. NPA owns and manages all of those areas you are talking about. So, and there's so much politics of the ports. It's only now that Lagos State is beginning to realize that it has become a cost because the whole of Apapa is shut down, and that's a huge cost to the economy of the states. People are thinking of the branching. We have the issue of trying to develop the Warri Port, which is the most profitable oil and gas port in Nigeria, to make it is to allow ocean-going vessels to crisscross that area, has been on. The entire cocoa revolution, gas revolution in Ogidigbe was targeted at that. But at the Escravos bar by that Benin, the turn is too tight for them to go, and there are pipes crisscrossing. Too many investments in oil and gas. The draft was also a problem there. But it's a natural harbor, because cocoa, which was a destination, is about seven meters deep. Yes, so those are navigable, and those can be dredged for that. But it is not the worry. The access to that area was the issue, because there's no point taking light boats to this way. The cost is not it's not economically viable. But when all major ocean-going vessels can come through that process here, it breaks up the entire logjam and takes ferries the goods closer to the southeast, right, and the north, and interestingly linking up the trains, so you frees up your road. And then when it was obvious that that wasn't going to work, then the whole concept of Ogidigbe, crept into the conversation. But that has been a political mirage to date. Are we making effort? Yes. Up until 1 month ago, we're still engaging with the Ports Authority to see how we can harness them. It's not within our powers to do, but we can always play the politics. But it's obvious that Lagos is choked, and they'll free up politics for reality.